Is the audio working? It's working, yep. Let's get this music in the background. All right. Let's get started. We've got the stream schedule here. We've got things to show off. The orc units, wild elves, a little battle showcase, so let's get started with that. Okay, so we're going to let up the game here. Sorry if you can hear some noise in the background. It's quite hot in my room, so I need a fan. Okay. So let's start. Free game. Right, so let's start with the rune armies. Go over here. Alright, first thing we're gonna do is some cheats. Application, set figure, tech tree mode 1, set building tech tree mode 1. This is just so I can quickly and application give me goods. So I can quickly show you. So where did we leave off last time? We showed off, I think, the fighter, the totem, the hornblower. Let's show the spearman is basically unchanged. He can attack from a range of 2. I think I need 0, don't I? Figure tech tree mode 0. Yeah, this is 0. So he's unchanged. So we're going to show the veteran. The drummer is pretty straightforward. And the fire master and the bone shaman, which is a new unit. So let's summon the veteran, the drummer, and then we'll start. You can see that they all use the red skin. That's just because
what now?
I think each of the races should wear the most appropriate color for their faction. So let's get the blood shrine built.
Yeah, whatever.
The Hall of Glory.
I'm on it. I'm tired, you say so.
Okay, so the veteran is a commander unit, so he takes a lot of resources. So 15 wood, 80 lenya, 80 iron, 15 lenya. That's not correct. Shouldn't be 15 lenya. Should be more like 50. I need to change that. So he costs a lot and he takes a while to summon. He's got huge armor. Hammer deals poison. He deals like a lot of damage. 10 to 14 compared to the spearman's 4 to 7. So it's a huge bump in damage. 85 HP versus 43. So he's like very, very tanky. The drummer uses Warcry just like before. If you see his melee weapons, it can inflict poison, dispel white aura, dispel black aura. Fire Master is basically unchanged. He uses Fire Burst and then he uses Wave of Fire when you upgrade. And again, his staff can now hit from a range of 2, so they can stay safe behind their front line. If we hit up the upgrade for the drummer, you can see that the new drummer has Warcry and Patronize, and his Warcry is got a shorter cooldown, 90 seconds versus the basic drummers 120 seconds.
Yes.
And then the veteran, we need to build the Dark Forge.
Say so. Fighting makes it all
The veteran just gets basically some stat boost, and his weapon can strike multiple enemies.
Yes.
What I would also like to show is the Titan has now been reworked. Not every Titan is going to use an aura spell.
Go to war instead.
The Rage Fire is just a pure damage dealer. That means his health is lower than the other Titans, but he deals a lot more damage. The Griffin Rider deals more physical damage, whereas the Rage Fire deals damage by using fire spells. Wave of Fire and Chain Fire Burst. Chain Fire Burst and Chain Fireball have all been pre-allocated. Let's speed this up.
Building ready for use. If you say so.
We got a problem here. I gotta go kill these guys.
It's an ambush. Enemies beware.
Okay, let's slow things down again. Alright. So, the basic Rage Fire uses... Both Rage Fires use Wave of Fire. The basic one uses Chain Fire Burst, and then the upgraded one uses Chain Fireball. And should also use Wave of Fire. It appears I forgot to give him Wave of Fire. Whoops. So, let's just summon the normal one. And we'll show him off. In the meantime, let's look at the new unit, which is the Bone Shaman. I think I'll probably create a custom mesh for this unit, a custom graphic. But for now, just leave him like this. He uses Aura of Slow Fighting and Aura of Inability. So this means just a few Bone Shamans are enough to... Why does that? Yeah. Just a few Bone Shamans will be enough to debuff the entire enemy team, the entire enemy army. So you don't need a lot of them. They are quite expensive, but they do reduce enemy output quite a lot. They are also a little tankier with their shield. Let's speed this up so we can get the Rage Fire. And after this, we're just going to show off the new units for the Wild Elves. Okay, there he is. This is a level 29, so we're going to send them off to fight these blades up here. So he's got Chain Fire Burst. Oh, I don't... something that's glitchy. There's the Wave of Fire right there.
Where's the enemy?
Obviously, Wave of Fire is not going to have such a short cooldown. But that's basically the orcs. Just finished. Just got a little bit of polish. Just got to make them... polish them up a little bit so they're completely finished. Let's look at the Wild Elves now. Let's slow time down so they don't move around too much. Okay, so these are the Wild Elves. They're basically complete. The player orcs are a little bit buggy. I have to finish up some stuff, but these guys are basically complete. You've got the Warders, which are the frontline unit. Then you've got the Elite Guardians, which are upgraded versions of the Wardens. Basically, they cast Thorn Shield on allies and durability. The main weakness of the Elves is their low health, so durability helps to make her Elves a little tankier. In terms of Rangers, we have the Ranger here. She uses salvo, so she hits multiple targets. And then we have the Wanderer. The Wanderer, which should be here somewhere. There she is. She's behind this mage. You can see the portraits on the bottom left. They're all done. So the Wanderer is an armor-piercing unit, so she deals a lot of single-target damage. She's also got True Shot, and she can cast Thorn Shield as well on her allies. Now this Thorn Shield spell has a minimum range of 4, so they can't cast it on themselves or other rangers that are near them. They tend to cast them on the frontline units. Sometimes you'll see them cast Thorn Shield on nearby archers. It's just the way the AI works is a little bit buggy. I've tried to min-max this so they actually cast it on their frontline. In terms of spellcasters, we've got 4, I think. We've got the Wild Sorceress, which is a damage spellcaster. They use roots and poison. So again, the Wild Elves use black magic and white magic, so they sort of use a combination. Then we've got the Priestess, which is the healer. Where's the Priestess? There she is. So the Priestesses use Aura of Regeneration and Aura of Weakness, so they can weaken your damage output, which works well for them because they have low health. And of course, Regeneration is... I need to increase their charisma, so they actually... Because currently Regeneration is regenerating 0 health. But they will regenerate about 1 health every 1.2 seconds, so it's not a powerful heal, but it does make them a lot tankier. After that, we have the Druid, which is their summoner. You can see the Druid there. She summons bears, crawlers, mud crawlers, which deal a lot of physical damage because they cast Rock Bullet every 30 seconds, I think. And they can dispel white magic. So if you've got white auras, she might be able to dispel them. The last caster is the floaty one, which uses the siege unit model. This is the Chaos Sorceress. They use Chain Pain, which is now reworked, fully reworked. Chain Hallow, which isn't currently fully reworked, but their level of the spell does work correctly. And Dispel Black Aura. After that, I think that's it. Then it's the Treant. This is the Amber Treant. The Amber Treant, again, tries to compensate for their weakness, which is their low health, by using Aura of Endurance. He's level 8, so he's not like a extremely high level Titan, but a lot of HP. 233 HP, lots of fire resistance. And that's because it's a swamp unit, not a forest unit. We're going to do a little battle now. Just to show off. Yeah, let's do that. I was just thinking of something, but I tried to get a character to a higher level, not as max level like level 29, just level 8, so I could do a better showcase, but I didn't end up having time to do that, so we're going to have to use this character. So we're going to summon 40 units, which is the maximum you'll be able to get without your allies, your NPC allies in the map. So let's get these cheats back. Figotech tree mode. Building and resources. Okay. Let's get the...
Okay, fine.
We're going to need the food store. We're going to need Hall of Glory to upgrade our healers. And we're just going to see how this plays out. We will outnumber the enemy, and my warboards are going to be quite high level. So I'm going to take a look at their stats and see if they're a bit overpowered. We can start summoning fighters, because those are the front line, and they don't receive any upgrades. These are level 3. Should we use level 5s? I don't have level 5, so it doesn't matter. Let's get that. Let's get some war bars here. My avatars are not going to get involved in this because he's max level, so... Or level 29. Let's keep working this Hall of Glory.
What?
Okay, so... What can we do? We need the upgrade. How much damage? Yeah, these boars deal too much damage. We won't be able to use them. Okay, well, let's see. Okay, then what we'll do is we'll actually build the medium headquarters. I don't want to build too close.
At your command. Building ready for use. Yeah.
Hopefully that's not too close. You won't have the medium headquarters, but you'll have the warboars, and you'll be like level 10, so the warboars aren't going to be that powerful. These are max level. These guys are also level 29, so I can't really use them here. Let's upgrade the hornblower.
Upgrade complete.
Let's get 5 of those. We need the Shaman's Hut to upgrade my spellcasters. Let's get 7 hornblowers. Because this is like quite a difficult group of enemies, maybe let's get a couple drummers for some damage output, even though you won't really have them. If you have the gold, you can purchase them from one of the NPC orcs. So that's all done. Let's get these guys up to 40. Shaman's Hut is done.
Upgrade complete.
Okay, so what have we got so far?
Where's the enemy?
The fighters are tanky frontline units. So let's... Our frontline is 10.
For the clan.
We're gonna need more than that for sure.
For the clan.
Let's kill a drummer. We don't need 3. And then we'll use these totems. That'll be 40 units versus, I believe, 25. That treant is gonna be impossible to kill, I reckon. The Chaos Sorceresses with their Chain Pain spell is gonna deal a lot of AoE damage, but they're actually a little bit spread out, so we might be lucky here. I'm gonna try and kill these Rangers. They're ranged DPS units. Their Wardens don't deal a lot of damage. So I think if I can kill their ranged units and their priestesses, we might stand a chance. Probably not.
What? I'll go stand over there then.
Okay, keep summoning these totems. Get me a couple of spearmen. Oops. One more totem.
Where's the enemy? At your command. For the clan.
Alright, here we go.
Halfway there.
We've got a front line of 15 and 2 support units.
War. At your command.
Let's move these guys
Where's
forward.
the enemy?
Move the front line forward.
Ready. Yes, sir. Fighting makes it roll.
Let's target these druids. We need to kill them first because they're summoning. Come on, let's kill that druid. Druid is dead. I can't really see the druid. Pull my support units back. Where's the other druid? Kill a priestess. And you can see how thoroughly we got annihilated. Kill that druid. So yeah, the wild elves are going to be pretty tough to kill. Pretty tough to kill. Okay, so that is the unit showcases. Those are done. Let's do one more unit showcase, and that is the Kithars. So let's look over at this file here. So the Kithars have some interesting reworks. The color of the Kithar tells you what role they perform. So the golden ones, the gold furs, these are damage dealers, and this guy counts as well, this brown one. These are the damage dealers. The white ones are support Kithars, so they cast combat abilities, durability, patronize. The white fur is a healer, so he uses rally to heal nearby Kithars. The black ones are the tanks. So this grayish one here has a lot of HP, and these darker ones, they have triple Lifetap enchantments on their claws. So that's 10% per enchantment, so every attack has a 30% chance of stealing 10 HP. So that's how they tank, is basically by stealing a lot of health. This gives each of the Kithars sort of their own role. And when you get a group of mixed Kithars together, that's when they synergize with each other. Now, the Guardian casts durability, which reduces the damage dealt and received by allies by 50%. So that does lower their damage output. But that's why the Lifetap enchantments on the black Kithars are so useful. When their physical damage reduces, their Lifetap enchantments are still dealing full damage. And it's the same thing for the brown Kithar here, the Razor Claw. He has a triple Thorns enchantment. Deals 28 cutting physical damage to the target. Again, 30% every attack. So even if their physical damage reduces because of the support unit's durability ability, a bunch of them will still be dealing basically full damage because of their enchantments. So that's the Kithars. This is going to be, I think, the third enemy type on the upcoming map. Now that we've got the unit showcases out of the way, let's talk about the map. Let's look at the map. So for this, I'm going to turn the music off. And, oops. And increase the volume. So that was at -13. Okay, 4. Let's exit the game before it craps out on me. The map, as a lot of progress has been made on the map. Okay. Let's step on through. If you look at the bottom left, at the bottom right, the mini-map, you can see that whole bottom left section is basically done, the brown area. Just give another quick tour so you can see the landscape. It goes all the way up here. Hero monument there. You've seen this stuff before, I think. The last time where you've got the chests are here now, so these chests give you your plans and runes, so you can get started with the orc monument. It's a nice little thing up here. Now, where we left off, the orc village was not ready. Was very early in development. Well, the orc village is now complete. So, you can see my little pig pen down here with boars and swine. You've got 3 camps which are fully functional. This is the melee camp. You see these orcs moving around. These are citizens, basically, so they're just going about their business. This is the spellcaster camp for the healers and the fire masters and the totems. Over here we've got a defensive line of units. Each of these camps contributes defensive units over here. And it also contributes to attack waves, so they will send out attacks. Then you've got the boar camp here. This is where they breed their battle pigs. These towers are functional, so they will help to defend the camp. We also have merchants now. These merchants have their inventories up to this update. Next update after this one, I will continue to add to their inventories as I continue to rework items. This is Bone Shaman Mummug. He sells... Actually, I'll show you. But before, if you listen carefully, we've got our first voice line. That comes from the War Chief Urgel. He represents Clan Sharrock. Let's move towards the town.
Stand down, orcs. Let the rune warrior pass.
That's our first voice line, just a little teaser. Now let's look at these merchants. Bone Shaman Mumuk sells... because this is campaign. Okay, I'll tell you what they sell. You have to start a new campaign. That's fine. Bone Shaman Mumuk sells advanced curse magic. So in Spellforce Reborn, there's 3 rarities of spell. There are common spells, which are sold at Greyfell. Then there are rare spells and epic spells. These are only sold by advanced merchants. Each school of magic is handled by a specific race. So if you want advanced curse magic, you come to the orcs. If you want advanced death magic and necromancy, you go to the dark elves, which will also be in this map. If you want advanced fire magic, you go to the orcs. If you want advanced ice magic, you go to the elves in Iloni. You should be able to guess who sells what. And I'm trying to make sure that you have merchants for every school of magic in the early game of every school of magic. So this map is going to give you fire magic, curse magic, and death and necromancy. Mumuk also sells hybrid armor for Death Knights. So he sells Bone Shaman armor, which is a hybrid of heavy combat and black magic. So if you want to play a hybrid build, this is one place where you get hybrid armor. Seen with the War Chief already, he's the one that said the voice line that you heard. Up here we have the Fire Master Grobor. He sells advanced fire spells, and I think that's it. Obviously, he doesn't have his inventory yet. And then you've got the Build Chief Nurok, who sells... I don't think he has it yet. So he sells anything that's not a base orc unit or base orc building is sold here. So smelting works, spearmen, veterans... all of those buildings are sold by him. Depending on the rarity of the building, it can be very expensive, so you're not going to be able to just buy everything the first time you come here. But he also sells runes for orcs, and he sells... I think that's it. Runes and building and unit plans. So that is... the orc village is basically complete. I just need to get the NPC scripts for the quests and some voice acting done. Let's explore the rest of the swamp, because I've made a lot of progress. This entire path leads to the enemy camp. Member of the community suggested that I make this sort of inspired by Dunmora from Spellforce 2. So I put a bunch of elven ruins in this part of the swamp. If you look, there's a nice interesting place up here with a circle of pillars here. If you look carefully, you should recognize something. This is the bone altar for the upcoming bone carving quest. I'm transplanting the bone carving quest into Order of Dawn. This now leads to the bulwark. So anybody who's played Spellforce 2, you know what the bulwark is. It's sort of a row of towers that you have to overcome. I thought I would do the same thing for this map. So you enter through here, and you've got to get shot by these towers. Then you go up, and this takes you towards the enemy camps. Now the idea here is that you can't really deal with these towers with just your orcs. But the Dark Elves, who are going to be over here, if you bring them Aria crystals, they will give you siege units. So you can use siege units to destroy these towers. And then the Orc Chief will agree to send his orcs through the left, which is basically the back of the enemy camp. You can also enter the enemy camp through the front, which is here. Wide open gate. Less towers, but this is where all of the elves are going to come out of this gate, right? So you're going to fight a lot of less towers, but you're going to fight a lot of units. Oh, these towers are killing my elves. Because they're set to the wrong race? Hold on. We might have a problem. Let's just speed this up. Oh shit, yeah. Oops. Let's pretend like that didn't happen. I wonder why. Do I have them set to the wrong race? No, 226 is... Oh, these towers are giving me so much trouble. They're set to the correct race, I think, but something else is going on. Let me quickly double check. They're set to the correct race. I will figure out how to fix that. Okay, so. Sorry about that. What is next on the list? Spell reworks. Spell reworks, okay. Oh boy, that's a bit weird. So, I believe... I thought I had... some... Showcase. Here we go. White magic and black magic. Oh boy, I freaked out for a second there, I thought. Okay, so what we want to do here is... Yes. Let's go over this way. So, Aura of Regeneration. Oh my god, that noise. Let's turn that down so we don't lose our hearing. There we go. I think it was -13, wasn't it? I hope so. No, that is the wrong map. Destiny Bond test, here we go. Okay. So, in terms of, do we have... We do not, we only have these guys. What level are they? Let's improve the level on these guys, and we'll just do some quick summoning so we can show things off. So, Aura of Regeneration has been changed. We're actually going to exit the game here to show some of it off. So, Aura of Healing and Aura of Regeneration do two different things. Aura of Regeneration heals a lot of total HP for a small amount of mana spent, but it heals slowly. So, if we look at my design document here, white magic, we've got Aura of Regeneration here. Oopsie. So, all levels of the spell heal a base of 1 HP. They don't go higher than this. Going any higher, you end up with really high total heal values for the way that I want it to work. I like other games where you can sort of see the health bar increase instead of the big chunks you get in Spellforce. I tried to do that by decreasing the tick rate. So instead of it healing every 2 seconds, it heals, at level 12, it heals every 0.4 seconds. So you can see the health bar visually moving more aggressively. So the basic heal is the same across all levels, and the duration is the same. So 30 seconds for all levels. The total heal you can see here goes from 20 all the way up to 75 without charisma scaling. I took into account charisma scaling here. I assumed a certain amount of charisma, and I can change this value here, and it changes all of the other values. So I am using maths here to calculate what I think are good values. You can see an example here at level 12. Aura of Regeneration heals a total of 345 HP for just 8 mana, but it does it over 30 seconds. So it's quite a slow heal across the entire game. It's a fairly slow heal. I may tweak these numbers later to make the spell a bit more aggressive. But if you want quick heals, you want Aura of Healing or one of the single target heals. And if you want high amount of total healing, Aura of Regeneration is very powerful. That's pretty much it. There's just a lot of maths here. Basically, just trust that I know what I'm doing with this amount of maths. That's Aura of Regeneration, just boring numbers. We're going to show Reinforcements. Used to be an area spell that you cast around a certain area. You can no longer cast it in an area. What it does is it casts around the player, and it casts very quickly. So if we look here, let's see how quickly this casts. That's it. It's done. That quick. The idea is to have a very fast escape for you and units that are near you. The radius is very generous. Radius of 20 meters. I think the lower versions is 18 meters, so it's quite a big radius. So even though you can't cast it in a specific area, it should probably capture all of your units. You might still lose a few units here and there. And it's still a very niche spell, not that useful, if we're going to be completely honest. But at the very least, it has a niche. It has a proper use now. And because it casts so quickly, you can actually use it in emergencies, and it's unlikely that you'll get staggered out of the animation. Let's summon a few Bone Shamans, a few Spearmen. These guys are level 7. I'm going to give Aura of Regeneration to these orcs. So these are about the same level as these enemies, these Kithars.
I shall not fail. Yes, forwards.
I think maybe, yes,
Follow
mostly
me.
Spearmans.
Quickly now. Now.
We're healing 2 HP every 0.4 seconds, so that's about 6 HP per second. 5 HP per second. Let's pull the Shamans back.
Rune warriors, stand by me.
My avatar's going to get involved here. The Guardian is used Patronize.
Lines must hold. Here. Rune warriors, stand by me. Destiny awaits.
A bit late to be using durability.
On
Okay,
my command.
we're going to move towards these blades, and I'm just going to show off what Reinforcements does and how it works.
Follow me.
Let's say we go here. These guys are level 25. Oh no, we can't
I
kill
shall
these
not.
guys.
Follow me.
We're in a terrible position if they weren't so slow. I'm going to go ahead and cast Reinforcements, and boom.
I shall not adventure.
That quick. It's a very reactive spell. So, that is the white magic rework. So the white magic spells are now done. No further white magic reworks for this next update. I think I'll show the rest of the white magic last showcase stream. Now we're going to take a look at the black magic reworks. Showcase black magic. Here we go. And now you've already seen some sneak peeks of the armor, but we'll show them off a little bit later. Let me think how I want to do this. I think Destiny Bond tests are okay. Right, so, got a few spells to show off here. Pestilence was an interesting spell. Because it was... I'm so sorry about... Wow. The noise coming out of this game. Let me lower that a bit more. I hope that's not as annoying for you as it is for me. Pestilence was either useless, because it's so slow at killing anything. There was no point in using it to kill trash enemies because it was so slow. Or it was incredibly annoying, and it forced you, the avatar, to leave the map and restart. Now, first of all, in Spellforce Reborn, you are going to reach max level a lot earlier. Way before the final map. So, if you get Pestilence, just die. Don't exit the map. Don't worry about dying. It's not a problem. You'll reach max level a little bit slower, but you're still going to reach max level way before the final map. So don't worry about it. Just die. Don't have a problem with that. Pestilence deals a lot more damage early on, and it scales a lot more aggressively. So it's still slow. Death is going to kill things very quickly. Spamming pain on somebody is going to kill them a lot quicker. So Pestilence serves a purpose where it's a cheap, guaranteed kill on even elite enemies, right? So we've got some ogres here, and what we're going to do is we're going to summon... Now, Pestilence has a base cooldown of 30. All spells have this, so you can't just fill up your... Well, you could fill up your hotbar with Pestilence, but why would you do that? You can't just spam Pestilence on multiple targets. It is a cheap spell, relatively speaking, for the fact that it is a guaranteed kill. But it does have a bit of a cooldown. We're going to summon a bunch of Rock Screamers to tank for me. Because this spell kills slowly, you want to have a front line. Something that can tank for you. Screamers are perfect because they don't deal a lot of damage, so they're not actually going to kill these ogres. But they're very tanky. Let's summon a few. Let's speed this up by 5. We'll summon 5 Rock Screamers, just to tank for me. And we're just going to demonstrate Pestilence. I've tried to use reasonable values for damage. All Pestilence spells increase every 9 seconds. So you can see here, this level 12 version deals 4 damage up front to the target, and then every 3 seconds. The damage then increases by 4 every 9 seconds. So damage always doubles. Or increases by the original amount. Technically, it's not a doubling. So let's go ahead and Pestilence these guys. 1, 2. And we're just going to observe. You can see my guys are not dealing that much damage. We're actually going to kill some of them. We're going to Pestilence the guy on the left. You see he's taking 20 damage now. 24 damage. 24 damage. It is a slow spell, but it is a guaranteed kill. Obviously, bosses will not be affected by this. You can see the one on the left is now taking 16 damage. The one in the middle is taking 20. It's a lot faster than it used to be. Okay, let's go ahead and kill these guys, and then we'll show off the rest of the spells. And Pestilence also, if you want to deal physical damage, Pestilence is now sort of a nice DPS increase. Obviously, Poison gives you more upfront DPS, but then Pestilence scales are better in a long fight. Still relatively niche, but at least you can use it now if you want to. Let's demonstrate the power of Chain Pain and Chain Lifetap. Give me a moment. So the first thing we need to do is check how much black magic resistance. These guys have no resistances, so we should be able to just mess them up. Yeah. So let's bunch them all up together. So what's the difference? Chain Pain spreads very quickly, so every 0.5 seconds instead of 1 second, so it'll spread rapidly through enemy ranks. Lifetap spreads every 1 second, so this is a slower spread, but it deals a lot more damage, and it steals HP, obviously, so you gotta keep that in mind. Let's get these guys to bunch up, and we'll just demonstrate. Hopefully, I'm not sure if I have enough mana to actually kill these dudes. I've got 450 mana. Let's them bunch up. Let's start. There's one, then Lifetap. Then Chain Pain again. You can see my mana bar is depleting, but we are dealing a lot of damage here. Still not dead. We have about half mana now. These are level 25 enemies with 800 HP. They do have a lot of HP. Let's keep casting. And I think this should be it. You can see how quickly the pain spreads compared to the Lifetap spell. That is it. Okay, so next up is Feign Death. Feign Death is basically very similar to Reinforcements. It is an escape tool, basically. It doesn't actually escape, but what Feign Death does is it casts very quickly, just like Reinforcements. I think each version of this spell, where be it? It starts casting at 1.3 seconds, so it actually starts slow, but then as your level increases, the level of the spell, it casts quicker and quicker. That should not be 0.1 seconds. I need to change that. Let's use the level 11 version then. That is not what I asked you to do. Oops. Sometimes I don't pay attention. Before we do that, let's demonstrate Aura Hex of Darkness, because I'm waiting for the cooldown now. So, Curse Magic. How's Curse Magic gonna work going for? I'm so sorry about that fucking noise. Curse Magic is, let's be honest, curses are fucking boring. Really boring. So let me really make sure that you don't hear that, because this is important what I'm about to say. Minus 15 decibels. Actually, let me say it here. Curse Magic. Curse Magic is boring. So, what am I going to do to fix Curse Magic as a whole? And then we'll talk about this spell. There are two types of curses. There's auras, and there's area curses. The game actually has area debuffs in the game. It's just that they're unused. But they do function. These area debuffs, strength, stamina, whatever it is, they also affect allies, which I actually quite like. So going forward, there's going to be two types of curses. Curses are auras. So they work like the old aura of weakness, aura of suffocation. They're now called curses. Curse of suffocation, curse of weakness. And these will spread to enemies near you like an aura. Hexes are the area versions that also affect your allies. So you've got to use them carefully. They instantly debuff every enemy in an area, and they are stronger debuffs than the auras. So the auras cost less mana, and they're more efficient, but they're slower. The hexes are stronger and affect enemies instantly, but they're expensive, and they also affect your allies. So you got to place them carefully. You got to be more precise with them. They have a smaller radius, so say radius of 5, for example. So it's not like a huge radius, so it should not be too difficult to avoid hitting too many of your own units, but you can hit your own units, so be careful with that. So Hex of Darkness. I am removing the single target Dark Banishing, and I'm removing some of the curses to make room for more interesting spells, such as hexes. Another interesting spell will be Toxic Cloud, which is another damage option for Curse Magic. Toxic Cloud is basically what the Spitflowers use, but I'm going to lower the damage numbers so they're not so insanely powerful. And the area, the radius, is going to be relatively small. So that's just an example of what I'm doing with curses. There's also going to be a summon for the Curse School of Magic. That's going to do some interesting things. But all in all, Curses is going to receive the most spicy reworks of them all. Definitely going to be an interesting school of magic. It's not going to be so forgettable. So let's look at Hex of Darkness, which is going to be your resistance reduction option for black magic. All Hex of Darkness levels have a cooldown of 10. So if you fail to hit the target you really wanted, you can try again in a reasonable amount of time. I did think it should have some kind of cooldown, just because its effect is quite potent for what it does. So we're just going to quickly demonstrate that here, and then we're going to use Feign Death to escape the ass whooping we're not actually going to receive, because these enemies don't deal any damage, but let's pretend they're dangerous. So we're going to go here, we're going to hit him up. Boom. Nice and fast. It's a fast spell. It's got decent range on it, I think. It's got a range of... No, it's got 13 range. It's actually short. But because it's an area spell, you can cast it further away and still hit your targets. And, oh my god, they're gonna kill me. Let's save myself. Boom. Done. Feign Death is a nice, quick way of escaping a bad situation. These guys do behave a little funky. One interesting aspect of this is you can use this to regenerate your mana while you're playing dead. And then you can, boom, surprise them with the surprise spell, and then run away. Again, Feign Death has a bit of a cooldown on it, so you can't just abuse it. Now, when it comes to balancing spells, I always assume that the player's not going to exploit. I know that Feign Death has a cheat. I'm not going to balance spells based on exploits. If you want to cheat, go ahead and cheat, enjoy. I'm going to assume that you want to play the game properly. So obviously, Feign Death is still overpowered if you cheat. Smart mages might fix it, I'm not actually sure. But I'm going to balance the game, assuming that you're not doing some silly exploit. Okay, I think that is it for the spells. Let's go through the stream schedule. Feign Death, Hex of Darkness, Hexes versus Curses. I explained that and the reworks we're going to do. Let's move on to items, and then we're almost done. Items. It'll be easier to discuss this one by looking at my spreadsheet. So, weapons. I have implemented all common weapons up until level 6, except the bows. There are 3 rarities of weapons, just like the spells. There are common weapons, which are basic, normal damage, no enchantments, other than armor piercing, which is considered a base property of a weapon. That's decay, it's not actually armor piercing, it's the best that I can do with 1.54 Spellforce. But it has a similar effect to being armor piercing. That doesn't count as an enchantment. Let's look at items, weapons. Here we go. So each of the common weapons, these are your basic bog standard weapons. There's 3 types. Leveled weapons go basically only off of your level. So when your character's level 3, level 6, level 9, all the way up to level 30. These are the weakest versions because they're just based on your level. One thing that was annoying about vanilla is that sometimes the leveled weapons are better than the heavy blade weapons or the heavy blunt weapons, right? Sometimes you come across the leveled weapons just better. And I kind of don't like that. So there's a clear progression now. Leveled weapons are the weakest. Then you have basic combat weapons. If you see at the very right, this is separate from the other weapons. This is if you have heavy combat arts or light combat arts. So this is a step up from just the leveled weapon. And then you have the specialized weapons, which are heavy blades, heavy blunt, light piercing. These are the strongest. All of these that you're seeing here, these are just the common weapons. These are not the rare weapons. Rare weapons are basically these, but they have enchantments, and they have proper names. These weapons, you can see, they're called Iron Greatsword, Steel Greatsword, Stone Hammer, Granite Warhammer. They follow the same naming scheme, so you know they're a common weapon. Enchanted weapons will all have proper names, like Stone Shatter or Steel Fall, whatever. I'll try using the names from the vanilla game. And, some of them are really cool, so I don't feel the need to change those. So all of the common weapons up to level 6, level 5, level 6 have been implemented, except bows. Each of these weapon archetypes, if you want to find out about these weapon archetypes, you can just look at the mod page. It'll explain what these different archetypes do. And I've really worked hard to make sure the maths on all of these weapons lines up and works well. The blunt weapons are slower, but they give you more strength. The blade weapons give you huge dexterity and agility, but they deal less damage. So everything makes sense. Done the same thing for the light weapons are also done. In terms of the, just to quickly narrate, you got here. So we did the Steel Greatsword, the Steel Broadsword, which is one-handed, the Granite Warhammer, which is two-handed, the Granite Hammer, the Steel Mace, the Steel Battle Axe, the Steel One-Handed Axe. And then for light weapons, you have long swords, which are two-handed, you have short swords, which are one-handed, you have war clubs, which are two-handed, normal clubs, which are one-handed. You've got battle staffs, which are sort of a hybrid between blades and blunt. They don't require blades and blunt. It's just, it gives you some strength and some dexterity and agility. It blends some of the benefits of both of these weapons. Axes, you've got daggers, and you've got spears, which are, axes require blade and blunt. and then spears require blade and piercing, light blade and piercing. So the weapons have been done. I have done some ranged bows. Ranged bows are done up to level 4. It's on my schedule this week to do the level 6 common bows, and once the common items are done, I'm going to start working on the rare items, the enchanted ones. And enchanted items will have slightly better stats, will be 1 level higher. So if the steel greatsword requires level 5 heavy blades, the enchanted greatsword will require level 6. And that also means it'll deal 1 more damage. So instead of 9 to 11, it'll deal 10 to 12. That's sort of how it works. Everything makes sense when you take a moment to read it on the Nexus. I'm trying to just explain it quickly here. Weapons. So that's it for the weapons. And then obviously epic weapons will have set items and even more enchantments. So that's done. Let's look at the new armor sets. So as you all know already, I believe these are not sets that have actual set effects. Effect sets and visual sets are different. Now these aren't just visual sets, what I'm about to show. They're also physical stat sets. Each of the armors I'm about to show you are designed to visually look like they belong together, but stat-wise fits a certain build. So the Shaman Bone set fits the Death Knight build, Tiara's Golden set fits the Paladin, Moonstone fits the Stone Lord, which is Earth Magic and Heavy Combat. Let's show those off, because I've actually done the graphics for them. You've already seen them, so a couple of them. So let's head on over. Alright, so here's the Shaman's Bone set. You can see it here. This is based on the bone armor. Later on, when you get access to the bone carving quest, you will be able to make stronger versions of this. This is just a very basic Death Knight set. This was an absolute nightmare to make this one. It took me like 8 to 10 hours because I needed to convert the trousers. They were actually chainmail, so I had to convert them to this gray leather texture to match the top. And I had to add this bone plate in the crotch. That was really difficult, adding that. This one was a particular tough armor. Ugh. Then you've got the Paladin set, which is Tiara's Golden set. This was easy because there was already golden armor in the game. I just had to make the shield. I will make a golden weapon to fit these. I'll make a set of weapons to fit these armors as well, but for now, I'm just going to leave things as they are. Each of these armors, Shaman's gives you wisdom and intelligence, as well as a bit of armor and stamina because it is a heavy armor. Tiara's set gives you wisdom, intelligence, and charisma, and again gives you heavy armor stats as well. Not as much as pure heavy armor. Then we have... Quickly, let's talk about the Spidersilk armor. This is for white magic, so white mages. So I've basically made the helmet and the shield here try to match the color scheme of the robes. All of these armors, I'm not 100% happy with them. I'll come back at a later time to make them perfect. Right now, I just kind of want to get them into the game in a decent state. Finally, let's go ahead over here and let's talk about the Moonstone set. So this is for the Stone Lord. I'm not fully happy with the trousers. Again, I'll fix these little issues later. This is for Earth Magic and heavy armor, heavy combat. This is another type of tank where you use conservation and tempered metal, and then you summon a bunch of earth elementals to do the damage for you, and you just tank for your earth elementals. So that's the build for this armor set. I haven't done the shield yet. This save here also comes with some interesting stuff. I have worked on some additional miscellaneous items. So I'm currently implementing every unused art asset in the game and putting it into the game somehow. So I found these really cool... Of course it's not there. Why would it be there? Alright, I'm done. So, I've added some new coins to the game. And these are there for you to sell for money, so you can buy spells and unit plans and stuff. So these are just flavor items, just to add a bit more spice to the game. If my slow-ass knight would like to make his way here... I thought I had them on this save file, but I don't. I found a bunch more unused rings and unused miscellaneous items that I'm going to implement into the game with the next showcase stream. By the next showcase stream. Okay, if we go here, we can see 1, 2, 3, and I'll explain in just a moment. So these are new coins, and they're just there for you to make money. Here we go. So this is the progression. These two, the silver mark and the old coin, these are early game items, so they give you an early game amount of money. If we look here and I go to sell them, the silver mark gives you 75 copper, and the old coin gives you 1 silver, of course, depending on the merchant. The gold ones here are mid-game items, so 25 silver and 75 silver. And then this one is the late-game item, which gives you 10 gold. So these are just more flavor items. Just like I added the gemstones with the last update, I'm going to add more items. If you don't remember, these are the gemstones that I added. And I think that's it. That's all there is to talk about this stream. Hopefully you're looking forward to the update. That is it, yep. Okay, thank you very much for watching. And I will see you